Welcome to the $100 MBA show, powerful business lessons on the daily, every single day with our daily 10-minute business lessons for the real world. I'm your host, your coach, your teacher, Omar Zenhom. I'm also the co-founder of Webinar Ninja, an independent software company I started with my partner back in 2014. And in today's lesson, you will learn how to handle negative reviews and comments online. In a previous episode, we talked about the importance of getting great reviews and how to cultivate them. But in today's lesson, we're going to focus on how to handle the inevitable negative reviews you will get at some point. Anybody that is doing anything that is meaningful will have somebody that just doesn't agree or is having a bad day. These could be negative reviews on Google. They could be negative comments on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. It could be a negative review on your podcast, on Apple Podcasts, for example. And in today's lesson, I want to show you what works when it comes to handling them. Don't just be one of those entrepreneurs that say, hey, haters are going to hate, and you just ignore them. These are actually opportunities for your business. I get into all the details in today's lesson, so let's get into it. Let's get down to business. Support for today's show comes from Start Your First Online Business, my all-new 10-part audio course on Himalaya Learning. This is a course that's going to get you from 0 to 1. It's going to get you from thinking about your business to actually launching that business, getting it out of your head and into the real world. We cover things like validating your idea, creating your first product, pricing it, marketing it, financing your business, even creating your business website, and more. Check it out at himalaya.com/MBA and use code MBA to get a 14-day free trial. Again, that's himalaya.com/MBA, promo code MBA. Let's face it, getting a negative review or comment online does not feel good, okay? Doesn't matter how long you've been in business, somebody saying something negative about you or your business is going to hurt a little bit. You work hard every day on this thing. You've sacrificed so much. It's only natural for you to feel not so hot when somebody, poo-poos on what you do. I want to start by saying you should not just ignore it. You should do something about every negative review or comment on social. Sometimes these comments are just out of frustration because maybe they're not getting exactly what they want from your product or service. Sometimes it's just, pure hate, people just being mean. And that's just the reality of the world. And sometimes it's just critical feedback that you just need to read, and there's a lot of truth in it. But regardless, you should always respond. And what I recommend when it comes to any negative review or comment is to try to move the conversation over on email. Whether they're a customer or a potential customer, get them to contact you via your support channels or you personally. Why do you want to do that? Because you can really have a one-to-one conversation and really have the time and the consideration to solve the problem or to help the customer out. These discussions are not to be had publicly, whether they're on Twitter or back and forth on a review site. This is like fighting with your significant other in public. It doesn't serve you or your partner. It just amplifies the anger and the resentment. So get one-on-one, get personal, get on email. Number 2, by getting on email, you actually have a higher chance of resolving the problem a lot faster than on social or on any other platform. Why? Because there's certain things you can't ask publicly, like account information in email, and just trying to figure out what happened or what went wrong. So you can mention this when you're replying on social or on the review site. Hey, so sorry you're experiencing this. We want to solve this ASAP. Please email us here so that we can have a conversation and ask you some questions securely about your account. Number 3, by having this conversation on email and being able to go back and forth and solve the problem, and because this will speed up solving the problem, you have a higher likelihood of turning that customer around, turning that person around, that potential customer around, to them understanding, oh, okay, this has been solved, it's not that big of a deal. And if you can turn them around, I highly recommend you do something a lot of people don't do, and that's ask them to remove their comment. Ask them, hey, it looks like we resolved this issue. It would be a huge help to us as a company so we can continue to serve great customers like you if you removed that comment on social media or remove that comment on Google reviews, whatever it is. More likely than not, they will do it. They got what they wanted. That comment living on Twitter is not going to do anything for them. And most people would rather do something good and have that goodwill back and forth with the people they're working with. It's a working relationship with you and that customer. But you got to ask. A lot of people don't ask to remove these comments. Go ahead and do that. Some platforms you're able to kind of delete on your own, like Facebook, but a lot of other platforms like review sites, they will not allow you to do anything. You can contest it, but it's just better for them just to withdraw that comment on their own. And we've done this a bunch of times where we solved the customer's problem in the heat of the moment. They just didn't understand the situation, or maybe, it was our bad. We had an issue that was temporary and we fixed it, and they're happy and they're back in check and everything's okay. We ask, hey, can you remove that comment? That would be great, and it would really help us as a company. Most of them will understand. Yeah, that makes sense. Let me go ahead and do that. If they do not remove the comment, that's okay. Move on. But update the comment, whether it's a thread or a review, with what happened. Hey, glad we're able to resolve that over email, and appreciate you saying that you're all good now. If it's factual, if it's professional, they're not going to refute that. And at least there is some sort of update on what happens. If somebody later on reads this thread, they understand that you took care of business, that you took care of the customer. The other thing you can do is, for every negative comment you get, whether it's on a review site or on social media, actively try to get 5 positive reviews or comments. When you serve a great customer, if you serve a customer that's happy in your customer service tool or via email, ask them, hey, did you have a great experience? They said, yes. Would you mind sharing it on social? Our handle so-and-so. Would you mind leaving us a review? Not everybody's going to do that, but a good number will, and you're able to balance out the negative reviews. So when someone's reading any negative reviews or regular negative comments, are like, oh, you know what? It's not all negative. It's actually really mostly positive, and every company is going to have 1 or 2 negative things every so often. Guys, I got more on today's topic, but before that, let me give love to today's sponsor.
Webinars. We know how well they work to generate new business for coaches, consultants, and other creators. We know that online marketing is 10 times more powerful when you add webinars to your campaigns. But what's the right platform to use? What's the easiest? Which platforms can integrate webinars seamlessly into the rest of your marketing infrastructure and do it all at the right price? Take a look at our very own Webinar Ninja, the user-friendliest webinar platform ever. Create live, automated, series, and hybrid webinars. Make them free or charge for valuable lessons. Send automated emails to promote your webinar and follow up for more conversions. Showcase your unique value and do it all without the hassle and stress of navigating pain-in-the-butt software. Try Webinar Ninja absolutely free at webinarninja.com and see just how easy and powerful webinars can be. That's webinarninja.com for a 14-day risk-free trial.
When it comes to negative reviews or comments on social, do not get defensive. Don't take it personal as much as possible. The worst thing you can do is retaliate and say, well, you're stupid. I looked at your profile and you're a nobody. There are so many entrepreneurs, believe it or not, that do this. I've seen this. I've seen this in Google reviews. I've seen this in TripAdvisor reviews. I've seen this in comments on social. And I get it. Entrepreneurs are people too, and they feel like they get defensive and they want to protect their baby. It makes total sense. But that just adds fuel to the fire and adds drama to the situation. If you're just getting a hater who's hating, it's okay for you to just reply and say, so sorry, it looks like we're not a good fit for you. Wishing you all the best in your search for a solution. Somebody coming across that's not angry and reads that, they'll be like, wow, this is a really professional company. They really handled that with grace. That's a good sign. That is a sign for things to come if I ever had to deal with them or deal with their customer service. A lot of big companies, they take challenges, negative reviews, even when they have outages and they have big problems in their company, they try to use humor and keep it lighthearted. They use GIFs and emojis and try to, be as relatable possible, but also be sympathetic to the situation. But also not over-dramatizing it, cooling it down a little bit. So feel free to be creative when you're addressing issues. Thanks so much for listening to the $100 MBA Show. If you love what you hear, hit subscribe right now so you never miss an episode. It's absolutely free to subscribe. And by subscribing, you get our next episode automatically and access to our archive episodes, over 1,700 business lessons for you to consume. Go ahead and hit subscribe right now. Before I go, I want to leave you with this. You don't need to reply to negative comments or reviews instantaneously. Some people are always kind of online checking things. That's a surefire way, especially if you have a lot of customers and a lot of traffic to your site, to get depressed or be depressed all the time. You can't help it if you're always seeing negative reviews because you're always looking for it. Set aside some time, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, where you check and reply right then and there, so that way you're not constantly being consumed by it every hour of the day, 7 days a week. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll check you in tomorrow's episode, Free Ride Friday, where we discuss how to sell more to your existing customers. I'll see you then. Take care.